But we are going to dabble into some football topics because a football star is actually involved in this topic, defending Super Bowl champion. Matter of fact, and I think something that's really cool if we could get involved with people who are in football and in other sports is we can really make differences in the racing world. The biggest problem with the racing world is respect. Certain people are not getting respected properly, therefore they're not getting paid or sponsored properly. The perception and perspective is reality kind of phrase is definitely what's dictating this sport. For the majority of the public, World of Outlaw sprint car racing is high school football, maybe AAA. But for those who try to argue and say it's AAA, then what would you call Xfinity and trucks? Because the world perceives NASCAR Cup Series racing as the NFL, which is not true at all. But that's the perception. Perception is the reality. Sprint car racing, everything like that. So the reason I think getting other sports involved is so important is we could at least reach some other sports and help people understand how it's not the same. And in doing so, we can get some more respect for all these other divisions that are not NASCAR Cup racing. And I think teaching and helping people understand how there is no draft in racing. There is no high school levels of racing. There is no college levels of racing. These things technically do not exist. You buy and pay your way into different levels and segments of motorsports. That's just a fact. You know, one driver can win 20 features at the same track, local tracks, which in the dirt racing world I would consider local tracks maybe a high school level, but even throw that out the window. Let's just say one track, one 16-year-old kid wins 20 races, one 16-year-old kid wins one, and if that person who won one race has a big daddy bankroll, he's going to be advanced to the next level. Whereas the guy who won 20 races, if he don't have money, he don't go anywhere. This is why I argue sometimes and say a local track, potentially across the country, local racing, in PA especially, this is true. And this is why I was making fun and joking about the Danny Dietrich situation with Denny Hamlin, and Denny Hamlin calling him, not a talent, not understanding the talent. This segment of, the 20 race winner not moving on to another level per se in the racing world to AAA of trucks or whatever, but the guy who won one race moving up. This is why I say all the time that a NASCAR Cup Series event on a Sunday afternoon potentially is not as competitive or difficult to win that race as it is to win at a local racetrack on a Saturday night. And I think that that's just true. Now, I think if a lot of people, if the public knew about these things, then we would get the respect for not only the local racer, but the national dirt racing talents. It's not just dirt. This could apply to short track racing. Honestly, this is the disease of the racing world, is the misconceptions of what is pro level, what is high level racing, how the names you see on the television screen on Sunday, how they actually get there. It's perceived because in every other sport you went to high school or college and you were the best in all these divisions and you moved up. That's just not what happens. That's not true. That's not factual. That's fraudulent. And I think that some organizations make a living on this misconception of what racing is and how talent should be judged, respected, and viewed. So anyways, I think that's why it's important to possibly get some of these other people from different segments of different segments of sports involved to hopefully, teach more people what a sprint car is. It's not where 14-year-old kids learn how to drive like NASCAR's taught them that Casey Kane, Tony Stewart, Kyle Larson, Chris Bell did with that vehicle. And it's not just a vacation boat throughout the week. It's not just a hobby. It's where some of the best damn race car drivers in the world can be found. And that can be said in sprint cars and late models and dirt racing in general. And how a damn local racetrack event, especially in Pennsylvania, the Super Late Model at Port Royal, 410 Sprint Car Port Royal. I mean, and go across the country. A local racetrack can be just as more competitive with more qualified talents than the NASCAR Cup Series because of the money factor. You can literally go buy your way into a NASCAR Cup Series a race. I mean, you can buy your way there. Now, you can buy your way into a local event, but the price tag's a little lower, therefore there's more fish in the pond. NASCAR and these big money entities out there that get all this pro-level respect and garnish all this attention are very, very small ponds. And all I'm saying is it ain't hard to be a badass fish when you're farm raised. And this dirt racing world, short track asphalt world's more like an ocean. And we got a bunch of damn sharks out here technically not getting any of the respect because the TV cameras don't pay attention to them because they don't have money. And money moves media. Money moves the camera. Money is where everyone pays attention to, especially in the racing world, because the only way you make money is by listening to it and doing what the money tells you. You don't make it in talent. You don't make it on, or you don't get respect for your talent. You get respect for minding somebody who has a lot of money who will then grant you with access to their vehicles, and those vehicles are access to a wider range of media entities. So it's very interesting how it works out. And the reason I brought this up, we'll just go ahead and look into it, is there was a post on Twitter, actually, of OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr., defending Super Bowl champion, current free agent, working out. Obviously, he's a free agent. He's looking places to go, people to see, and he's in a gym right now in these pictures with a Donny Schatz t-shirt. Now, dirt racing is a niche of 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 a niche. Another big reason that dirt racing is where it's at, it could be paying 20 or 30 times more, have 20 or 30 times more fans, is the relevancy of the sport. It's pretty much unknown. Dirt racing, a sprint car, most people, if you ask them, what is a sprint car? And I've done this across the street from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I've done this in Des Moines, in Knoxville. Well, not Knoxville, it's probably one place, but I've done it in Pennsylvania. I've done it at the Chili Bowl across the street. Ask them what a sprint car is, anything like that. They have no idea. The relevance is so horrible for dirt racing. And some people don't know that because they live in the bubble of where it is big. PA, another example. But this is a very intriguing picture of Donny Schatz shirt. It is a little outdated. It's the Bad Boy Mowers machine. And it has a Chevrolet on the hood, which we can't allow that anymore. So I guess Tony Stewart coming here. Of course, World of Outlaws posted it over there. OBJ, nice shirt. Tony Stewart Racing then went on and quoted this tweet and said, OBJ, open invite to any World of Outlaws event at Donny Schatz and TSR compete in. Would love to have you come to a race with us. And OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr., actually responded and said, let me know when. Would love to. Now, there's speculation, there's comments. Will we be seeing OBJ at the World Finals? I'm actually texting some people trying to get some answers real quick if that's going to be the case. But this is awesome. This is some more interaction with regular world people that this sport needs to do. We have to get this sport outside of the backwoods. And some people, oh, you have to expand this damn brand called dirt racing if you want it to survive. Now, some people say, oh, well, the future of motorsports is done. It's all going to EV vehicles and all this stuff, carbon emissions, blah, blah, blah. Well, the one thing that you should hang your hat on, dirt racing fans, as far as the future of dirt racing and motorsports, if you're worried about carbon emissions, I'll introduce to you on this t-shirt this vehicle right here that OBJ's wearing right here. And this vehicle right here is called a sprint car. Now, if I was talking to, on a podium to a city of people would say, what the hell is a sprint car, a Miata? Which is why I'm saying we have to fix. But no, this is motorsports potential saving grace vehicle. And other motorsport-based vehicles, potentially, they're saving grace as well. Because a sprint car runs on methanol, which produces 0 carbon emissions. technically, this sprint car you see on the screen here is one of the most cleanest green vehicles in the world of motors. If there's any vehicle that has a leg to stand on in this going green carbon emission world, it is a sprint car that runs on methanol, which produces 0 carbon emissions. This is technically an EV vehicle. Now, EV people would argue and say, oh my God, but it still has oil and containment and all that. Yeah, well, that's not what's coming out the exhaust unless the motor blows up. But secondly, you need oil and other base motors out there running to even produce the EV systems that run your vehicle and develop the parts that are needed to even put your damn EV vehicle together. Regardless, as far as emissions are concerned, this is the future of motorsports. NASCAR and all these other people, they got to figure some stuff out. But as far as sprint cars are concerned, they run on methanol. 0 carbon emission vehicles.